everyone. I'm listening to another band that is new to me. It's my first time hearing them. And, that is Living Color. And Vlad told me that this has been chosen because Black History Month is this month, all of February. And this is kind of in recognition of that part of our American heritage. Well, speaking of heritage, one of the things I've noticed in this whole rock journey is how heavily influenced this entire genre is and kind of built off of growing out of so much music that came from the Black culture in this country, whether it's the blues or the spirituals or the gospel or the jazz, all of those things which are deeply, deeply rooted in Black history and that part of this American culture. So I feel like it's appropriate to feature a band, although I don't know exactly what about this band is relevant to Black History Month. Are they all Black, perhaps? Okay, Vlad is nodding. Yes. Well, that brings me to another thing. There have been a few times along this journey where I listened to an artist, and because I'm not watching videos, I'm listening. Sometimes I have heard somebody and thought they were Black. And other times I have heard somebody and not realized that they were Black. So in a way, it's kind of cool to have this whole invisible, just listening to the music, and the music tells us things, but it doesn't tell us the color of who a person is, who the artist is. But still, we get these ideas, and it's such a great representation of how our expectations aren't always the reality. And the reality sometimes is very different from what we hear or what we think. Anyway, so let's find out what this Living Color is. Oh, but to finish that thought, maybe I should just specify. I remember one specifically, Janis Joplin. When I first heard her, even her name, I thought, what a great singer. And I just pictured in my mind a Black woman singing. And then on the flip side, with Jimi Hendrix, I listened to Jimi Hendrix. I enjoyed his playing. It was new to me. I had to find a way in. And then the next time I listened to him, Vlad had me watch a video, his video from his performance at Woodstock. And I remember as I was watching everybody get set up on stage, the different performers, I was waiting for Jimi Hendrix to appear. And then this Black fellow starts playing. I'm like, oh, wait, he's Black? I didn't know that. So at least this time, I am warned ahead of time. This band is composed of all Black people. And I'm going to be, looking here at their name, Living Color. And the first line here, Living Color is an American hard rock band from New York City, formed in 1984. But I'm looking at how they spell color. C-O-L-O-U-R. That is not the American spelling for color. I'm curious why they chose that spelling for their band name. That'd be an interesting thing. I wonder if there's any information about that. Well, I'll have to follow that rabbit hole later. So the song I'm listening to today is Cult of Personality. Living Color is an American hard rock band from New York City, formed in 1984. Their music is influenced by heavy metal, funk, jazz, hip-hop, punk, and alternative rock. The band's lyrics range from the personal to the political, including social commentary on racism in the United States. They were named Best New Artist at the 1989 MTV Video Music Awards and won their second Grammy Award for their follow-up album, Time's Up, 1990. Living Color was ranked number 70 on VH1's 100 Greatest Artists of Hard Rock. Rolling Stone have called the band funk metal pioneers. Speaking of, when we are listening to these perhaps underrepresented, or maybe not even underrepresented, maybe just less populated artists, what do I mean by that? Well, it's the same with women composers in the classical genre. There have been some incredible women composers throughout history, dating way back. But when we name composers, the greats and famous, there are very few women which make it to that group. And there are many reasons for that. Some good, some bad, some just the happenstance of history, some a little bit less admirable reasons. But if we're really curious and we're really interested in understanding the whole fabric of an art and the depth of it and the extent of it and uncovering hidden gems, and because who wants to, as much as we love Bach and Beethoven, who wants to listen to Bach, Mozart, and Beethoven alone and nothing else for their entire life? Who wants to study just those? Because, well, they are incredibly rich. There's a huge wealth of worthy material to study there. And not only that, they were incredibly influential in shaping the entire history of music. So, of course, they are giants in the music world. However, it doesn't tell the whole story. We miss out on some of the most beautiful, profound, incredible musical, artistic expressions if we simply limit ourselves, and limit is the word, limit ourselves to those greats and famous ones. So it's the same thing here. And I have noticed, and I know that there are social reasons, there are practical reasons, there are all kinds of reasons for the fact that most of the rock music bands and artists to which I've listened are not female, not black, not exclusively, but there is a much larger concentration, saturation of one as opposed to all the others. And so it's nice. I always enjoy exploring around the edges, the unusual, or perhaps the mistakenly unrecognized, unnoticed. Sometimes that's where the best music resides. Well, I have no idea what I'm going to think of this Living Color group. I don't know if I'm going to think they're amazing, okay, tolerable, not so good. I don't know if I will love their music or hate their music. But the fact is, I'm happy to be discovering another group which represents a part of this rock genre that is so popular, so widely known, embraced, and applied in so many different arenas. Cult of Personality won the Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance at the 32nd Annual Grammy Awards. Its music video won the MTV Music Video Award for Best Group Video and MTV Video Music Award for Best New Artist. The song was ranked number 69 on VH1's 100 Greatest Hard Rock Songs. The solo was ranked number 87 in Guitar World's 100 Greatest Guitar Solos list. Sounds pretty decent. Let's see what I think of it.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Okay, one of the first things I notice after that quote at the beginning is when the instruments come in, this is a common beat pattern, kind of pulse that I hear in rock music a lot. But what I'm noticing is that there's a certain point, a certain beat they reach, where it's almost as if we are off the ground. We are... The best I can describe would be to say that it's a balloon that has been bounced upwards, more exaggeratedly than many times when I hear this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's beat 3. Now, very often I hear 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But somehow what they're doing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's almost like the 4/4 version of a waltz in a way.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy, I'm the cult of personality, the cult of personality, the cult of personality. Neon lights, Nobel Prize, when a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me, only you can set me free.
Some drum filter.
I said all the things you need to be. I'm the smiling face on your TV. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. I exploit you, still you love me. I tell you 1 and 1 makes 3. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
So this certainly has a social commentary message to it. But I don't find that very surprising, because I have learned in this whole exploration of rock music that so much of rock is all about this. It's tackling the hard topics, the uncomfortable questions and state of things, and kind of not just the rebel voice, but the voice that's holding everybody accountable in many ways. And so in many ways, what I'm hearing here, actually, if I didn't know that it was a black band, I wouldn't know any difference. I feel like this is such a solid, classic, middle of the road, and not in a, I'm not saying that in an unflattering way. I'm saying this feels like it fits right in the center of what it means to create rock music, to play rock music. You have the style, you have the sound, you have the voice, you have the drums, the guitar, the bass, the kind of call out an issue message, all of this in a very well presented, tightly bound piece of music that holds together skill-wise, form-wise, all of that. So my point is, this is another example of, if I didn't know, I wouldn't know that they were black. And I like that. I like it because I don't like when we just pick something out of air and say, oh, they have that aesthetic appearance. They're black, or they're female, or they are from a certain nationality, or they have a certain message, or they play with guitar and drums and bass, so they must be great. Actually, no. Just because there's a certain superficial element doesn't mean that the music that comes out of it is going to be substantive or that the message is going to be relevant, or that any of that is going to be well formed and well presented. As a musician, I am sitting here listening to this from a musician's perspective. I am interested in the quality of musicianship, the level of artistry, and where that fits in the broad spectrum of rock music overall. Well, I'm only halfway through the piece, but I have to say that at this point, kind of the middle of the piece feels like a good moment to say this sounds like a very solid, middle of the road, not veering too far one way or the other, and certainly having all that it takes to be a good piece of music, a solid, well-presented piece of music.
I'm the cult of personality, the cult of personality, the cult of personality. Neon lights, Nobel Prize. When a leader speaks, that leader dies. You won't have to follow me. Only you can set you free.
You know, there are things about the sound of this band that make me think actually of Led Zeppelin. Things, okay, the guitar style, somehow, that's where my mind is going. And maybe there are some other famous guitarists also that I am not linking at the moment to the style, but perhaps the links exist. But somehow right now, I'm hearing Led Zeppelin. I'm hearing that in the guitar solo. I'm hearing that in the drums. And while it's not the same style of singing, still there's this certain, actually it's some of the first couple of Led Zeppelin pieces that I listened to that this is making me think of. For example, Kashmir or Stairway to Heaven. I'm thinking of that Led Zeppelin sound. Well, as you know, I'm just starting this whole complete Led Zeppelin listening series, listening to every one of their albums. And I've just listened to Led Zeppelin 1, and that's not the sound that I'm associating with this band. Somehow it's more the Kashmir and Stairway to Heaven sound that feels like it belongs here. So I have that in my mind as well. There was also a moment there with that guitar solo where I thought, oh wow, he's almost pulling off a rock version of Flight of the Bumblebee.
You gave me power,
country can do for you.
Another quotation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, as I said, the music doesn't strike me as being anything highly unusual or having a, shall I say, a great distinctive cult of personality in its own self. It sounds like it is building on the tradition, the classic rock tradition, the great bands who really pushed things forward. Well, the introduction did say that this band is considered a pioneer in a certain part of that rock tradition, but this song doesn't strike me as strongly pioneering. However, I did notice these quotations and the use of the quotations in the context of the message. And I don't know if I've heard anything quite like that in this rock journey to date. Everything from this, I guess it was Malcolm X who said this at the beginning. During the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth. It's and then what else did we have? We had a Roosevelt and a Kennedy quote. In other words, these are great personalities, and this whole piece is built around the message that we have a tendency to follow these strong personalities that become, we gather around them. It becomes a cult of personality. We follow them. We realize our dreams through them. They embody something about what we want, and we almost see that they are the fulfillment of our own dreams. The message is that this is not actually fulfilling our dreams, and we don't have to follow these people in order to reach our highest capacity, our highest potential. And calling out things like, I'm the cult of personality, like Mussolini and Kennedy. Or later, I sell the things you need to be. Or I'm the smiling face on your TV. I exploit you, you still love me. I tell you, 1 and 1 makes 3. I am the cult of personality. Oh, like Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. They threw Gandhi in there. I mean, they didn't just take the infamous ones. They took the ones that we admire. Gandhi, Malcolm X, Kennedy, Roosevelt. These people who we feel like they had a huge impact on the world, and it wasn't all negative. If you're just throwing in Mussolini and Stalin, that gives a different perspective. But they're not saying that all of these cults of personality are somehow evil in and of themselves. What they're saying is, be careful. Be careful. And when you follow somebody, don't do it as a way of fulfilling your own dreams. You don't have to follow me, and only you can set you free. That is a powerful and important message in any era, at any point in history. It's a powerful and important message now. Whenever we find ourselves, either in a small way or in a large way, either as an individual or as a community or as a nation or the world, whenever we find ourselves being drawn towards a certain personality, a certain individual who seems to be a magnet for our attention, it's a caution for us to step back and say, hold on, this is not your savior. Only you can set you free. And for that, you have to keep your own mind, your own head, your own will about you. You have to own your own self. That doesn't mean that these people, these strong personalities, these leaders, these magnets for our attention are always hurtful. It doesn't mean that. But they will rob you of who you are unless you keep this in your mind that you should own your own self. Only you can set you free. It's an important message. It's a powerful message. And it's set in an interesting way where it's so, should I say, ordinary in its musical personality. As I said, the thing that really stands out to me are their uses of these quotes from these great personages in history. That and the way it applies so perfectly, it's part of their message. And the quotes that they chose are quotes saying things that are important for us to know. It's as if they're using these personalities to tell us what we really need to know about ourselves. The ending, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Yes, that's right. And if you live your life that way, well, own your own future. Own your own destiny. Take charge of your own life, your own path to the best of your ability. And let these leaders, these personalities, these cults of personality be something that we take and apply and use for our benefit. And not just feed them and make them greater for their benefit. Great message. Very appropriate. And very well fitting. And a nice addition to the whole rock scene that I'm getting to know. That was Living Colour. Again, Living Colour, Colour. The non-American spelling of an American band. If anybody knows the story behind that, please let me know. I'm awfully curious. I'll see you soon.